Going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. One day, very soon, gonna wake up on the moon. Brand new yacht and a McDonald's in my living room. Bright yellow Lamborghini, 50 meters swimming pool. Champagne every day, hey fam, what you do? Wanna hang, wanna chill? Oh, you got a mansion too? Oh, that's right, held on tight, jack titties every night. We was in way back when they tried to drop it down to 10. And just couldn't comprehend, ace was strong until the end. Now let's retell it, Citadel they be sweating. Had enough of these felons, but the ace we rebelling. Cause we never be selling, till we send it to heaven. Now we be out here yelling, hey screw you Kenny. Bought my wife a minivan to share with the boyfriend, but I pull up in the Benz, plate saying olive crayons. Going on an airplane, don't think we'll be back again. Celebrating every day like it's your birthday. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Expectation, probably more manipulation. FUD, a creation of a crooked operation. Bought more while it was low, got more dips than Trader Joe's. Oh, you thought that we'd let go? What the hell you take us for? Holla if you spend your last dollar on bananas while living in squalor. We don't claim to be scholars, we the smooth brain dummies, and we never stood taller. Yeah, we do this for love and we do this for honor. Apollo 11 ain't got nothing on us. We the planet of the apes and in MOAS we trust. MOASS, oh hell yes. Gonna send it into space, go fire up the jets. Done my DD, call me Elton John, Rocket Man. This is the way, gonna be gorillionaires. Ground control to Major Tom, we about to have liftoff. Call us Neil Armstrong, gonna keep holding on. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon.
All right. Welcome to the morning show. It's the weekend. Happy Saturday to everyone. Have my coffee, have my food sources, so I should be here for a bit, okay? So we'll see how many people are joining in. We will see how things go, okay? And yeah, I'm shooting for like 2 hours. That's usually my limits on thoughts and just verbal diarrhea, they call that, okay? So sorry to be too graphic, but anyway, so let's start a show here. Of course, it's gonna be kind of mainly about Bitcoin, but also too, it's related. Okay, it's related to GameStop as well, because we do have some relation to Bitcoin, perhaps, right? And the association is always there. Ever since they have issued convertible notes to buy into Bitcoin, right? That's what we're expecting. And we will see how much that will, give us a fruit of the labor that we have been kind of accumulating, okay? Now, it's There has been a lot of discussion about Bitcoin lately because since the price has been coming up, people become more interested about it, right? When the price was down, nobody wants to talk about it because, oh, it might come down even more. And this is the trick of the game oftentimes is that, you know, when you're supposed to be buying it, nobody wants it. But when you're like becoming, you should be a little bit more cautious right now because again, it's closer to the all-time high. But the nature of this thing, due to the volatility, due to the how quick it could move either way. Okay, so it's a relatively new asset class. I know it's been around for more than 20 years. I get that. No, not even. No, 4 more years than 20 years. 2009 when Bitcoin was kind of sprung into action. Okay. um, but anyway, so it's going to be volatile until it's not. Okay. Currently, you have. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Did I? Somebody's calling. Anyway, so my point is that it could go either way, but I think we're expecting a leg up from the last quarter since the rest of the year. Okay, that's everybody expecting that, of course. Just because people are expecting it doesn't mean it's gonna happen, you guys. Okay, but hey, when people are saying short squeeze and all that stuff in Bitcoin, you might want to pay attention to that too. And on top of that, with GME, right, we have the best of both worlds. If Bitcoin were to short squeeze, as people were saying, because of again option, right? What people don't realize is that you could buy options, to buy Bitcoin. It has option, it has futures, it has whatever, right? And so those are the derivative sides of Bitcoin. And that's why, again, when you see the violent move, typically it's probably short squeeze or, due to the option side of things. Okay, the short versus long type of thing, right? And so when the market maker is trying to blow your position, the most amount of people, remember, max pain is still there. The same exact thing that is happening in every single security here. Security. Bitcoin is a little bit different. It's almost like a hybrid, just like I'm going to show you a video too. So, and so again, when people are thinking that they're smart shorting certain things at this particular time, they might get caught with their pants down. So, if they're not careful, if they're not, a professional in a sense that they could see the data from the top view, you might get caught, and you would have to buy that underlying asset in order to cover your position because you shorted in some way, right? And with Bitcoin, the reason why it's so violent, moving up or down, is because you cannot make more of it, right? And if you have Bitcoin, whatever, to short, you must have that underlying asset. And yes, you could naked short if you wanted to, but you'd be dumb to do that. It's like, how can you naked short something expecting it to make money unless you absolutely know the calamity is going to happen, and then you just like the day before you short it. And so again, those are it happens all the time. You've heard of the 9/11. Somebody short the airline industry the day before. Somebody must know something about that. So again, it hasn't been investigated, but people, you should have been heard. You should have heard about that, I'm sure. Hi Kai, what's up? What's up? First to comment. Great, thank you so much. Appreciate you. But yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like we're gonna reach an all-time high soon, and perhaps gonna exceed the all-time high level for Bitcoin. And whether that's gonna be the double top. I don't know. I think this is the double top already being played out. And so if we were to break this resistance here, all bets are off. Okay. And we see a lot of altcoins kind of popping up already too. So let's see if I could find it here. So I have XRP. So we'll talk about that too. So yeah, I mean, it's being perked up again. So that's good. It's a good sign. Of course, altcoin season is here. This is what I'm preparing for. Yes, I have exposure to this asset class, and I feel like, this is going to be a very exciting time. Second quarter, third quarter. It's not only because of, GME related to that as well. It's the cycle in which it should be moving higher. Okay. I know the media is trying to scare people to, to make decisions like, oh, we're in recession, bad, tariffs, right? No, not many people, have the contrarian point of view. And I think Ryan Cohen is the same way. Hold on, let me see if I post this at all here. Let's see. So apparently we did Trump has ceasefire from Pakistan and India. They're at war. They've been at war for quite some time. So, but yes, so it seems like they have reached the agreement to do a ceasefire. Who knows if it flare up again? But the uncertainty of the market is not there. Apparently, this weekend we're supposed to be talking to China to, settle the trade deal and all that stuff. But if the bad news comes along, just be prepared, okay? Be prepared for that. Oh, China doesn't want to cooperate, right? And so if that's new were to come out on Monday, that's probably a signal to, that the market might go lower. And also Bitcoin and all that stuff might also kind of correct a little bit. But I don't think it's going to completely, take this low right here. No. If anything, it might correct, to $95,000 or $90,000. How sure? I don't know. Just an educated guess or non-educated guess, depends on who you ask. Yep. So one of the things that I'm looking at usually is, the last cycle, but also too, there is a rainbow. Okay. So let me see, stock to flow. I think that's a better indication. Or indicator for, overpriced Bitcoin versus underpriced Bitcoin. So let's see. We've seen these chart before, but before I show that one, I've shown this chart before. It's again accounting for the stock to flow, how much Bitcoin is in, and the flow of money, right, versus the flow of money. So these lines has been already kind of accounted for the stock and the flow of the money towards Bitcoin, right? And so if it's under, if the price, if Bitcoin were to trade under that, it means that it's undervalued, okay? And we are undervalued right now. So fair value for this model is around 380,000. Okay. So again, historically, it kind of follows that line, and why would it do any differently now? So again, it's not an end all be all. It could trade down here for quite some time before it perk back up, right? Just like over here, it traded so low. So it depends how many people agree to your point of view of Bitcoin being the store of value. And so just a matter of time before people will have to realize that one day. And, people will come to that realization when they need to. Okay. When they realize, oh, the monetary system is not working. And so you need some hedge, some sort of hedge to the market. So, since its inception, it's kind of followed that. So that's why, how much can I trust this? Well, I mean, so long as it's Bitcoin is decentralized and all that stuff, and proof of work, and not switch to proof of stake. The thing is, like, I don't think any Bitcoin community would want to switch to any other software to use because they trust Bitcoin software a lot more. Okay. And so I think that's proof to people too why it's so secure. Yes, it's old and clunky. And I guess it's only contained enough information to keep the track of that ledger. So technically you cannot hack into it because it doesn't have enough information for people to hack into it. Okay, I'm talking about the actual chain itself. So if you worry about like the security of it, well, like I said before, if the asset class began to go higher in price, higher in value, more and more institution will have the incentive to protect it, because now they are into Bitcoin as well, right? Because now Bitcoin has become this valuable commodity that rich people would want to own, right? So again, it's the function of time versus how many people agree to your idea. And so the same way with GME, like how many people gonna agree with you that GME is going to be a good company moving forward, right? So long as most people are still disagreeing with you, you might not see the price action that you envision. Okay. But anyway, with that being said, though, I really think that this time is going to be slightly different. I'm not saying it match up to the last squeeze or anything like that, but I feel a sense of something is about to happen, right? For a couple of things, for a couple of reasons. Now they're into Bitcoin. We have so much money that we know what to do with at this point, and ready to deploy into the world, okay, at large. What I'm hoping as well is that we could acquire some sort of a company in which we'll be able to facilitate the revenue growth, and still maintain that profit margin of 30%. Something close to that. That would be a sight to see. Of course, that's for the future, growth of the company here. But as far as Bitcoin, right, it's a done deal already. Hopefully, again, we have something on our balance sheets here. So anyway, so based on this model, we are kind of undervalued. So, and then if you were to look at the rainbow, we're still in the blue. So the blue, typically, if you were to look into it, historically, anytime it's in blue, it's the best time to buy, right? Right. So we're still in the blue band. Actually, hold on, let me see. Oh, okay. Perking up to the green. Okay. So we're still in that undervalue, or closer to the undervalue. Now, if we follow this and we go towards the top, like the red zone is like severely overvalue, right? Typically, right? See, this is where you want to kind of take some profit if it ever come to that. But most people are buying Bitcoin because they want to hold it for a long term. So, they don't want to just quick in and out unless the news is about to hit, right? Insider trading type of deal. But again, why would I bring that up? It makes no sense. Hold on, somebody did a video here.
What's going on? This is Jordan from BitBo, making a quick video to explain our Bitcoin rainbow chart. Our version of the Bitcoin rainbow chart is a little bit different than the other rainbow charts you're going to find on the internet. Ours is called the halving price regression rainbow, and that's because, as you'll see on the chart, we have this pink line called HPR, which stands for halving price regression. And this is basically a price projection for Bitcoin, but based only on the price at each halving. Now, what this does is it kind of removes these cycle peaks in Bitcoin's history and takes out a lot of the noise and creates a nice, smooth price projection for Bitcoin. The rainbow come into all this, so it's actually very simple. So if I zoom in a little bit, you can see more clearly now that we have this pink line, which is the price projection, and then we have the blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. So these zones indicate time. So the pink line indicates the actual projection of the price based on this model. Now, the blue zone indicates that the Bitcoin price is within 6 months of this model. Now, since the model is based on time, we know what price the model will project into the future. So if Bitcoin is in the blue zone, that means it's within 6 months of the price projection. If it's in the green zone, that means it's getting to be a year ahead of the price projection. If it's in the yellow, that means it's going to be 2 years ahead. Orange is going to be 3, and red is going to be 4.
Okay, that's cool. All right, you hear it from the man himself. Okay, so, but I mean, it's still a good price preference to kind of look into. Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's that. I wonder if there's any other one. What is this one? Long-term power law. Okay, we're at the middle, so closer to fair value at the moment based on this. Again, this is more like linear, right? But it's log. So at this junction, top purple, around 500,000 there for this cycle. Okay, I mean that's still quite a bit of growth there. Okay, so this one the same way. Stock to income, stock to flow. Blah, blah. Okay, so this is like a combination of the two. That's cool, that's cool. Okay, let's listen to the explanation.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Jordan from BitBo. Just wanted to introduce our newest chart, which is the Bitcoin price prediction chart. So this chart shows the Bitcoin price over here in orange, and then it shows 4 different models for projecting Bitcoin's price, and that's the rainbow halving progression price, stock to income, stock to flow, and the power law. So you can see these 4 listed over here down in the corner, and you can easily turn off the ones that you don't want to see, and you can also zoom in to see clearly where the price is against all of these different models.
Okay, I guess it's a combination. Anyway, it just provides you the best, price reference to this projective line, right? Will it always follow that? Well, I mean, how will it always follow that? I think it's mathematical, because again, it's the function of, price over time, and since over time you get a fixed supply of something, that supply never change, but the demand will change over time. So I think that's the best way to explain it. Okay, so let's switch gear here. I know I'm gonna show you a video in a minute, relating to Bitcoin and all that stuff. But how bad do you think you will dump if they announce they didn't buy? How bad? Not quite sure. I mean, what, 20% is bad? I don't know. Depends on what is bad for you. You think 10% is bad? 20% is bad? 30%? How about 50%? I don't know. The opposite could also happen, right? What if they announce Bitcoin and it's still dropped? It has nothing to do with the announcement then, right? It's just the function of the option traders or whether they want to pay for that. So anything could happen. You know that, right? Never seen you before, so okay. Bitcoin dip, okay, 20% or more is bad. That's fine. Good. I guess we agree, right? So to me, 20% drop on GME, that's an opportunity. Okay. At this moment in time, like, are you kidding me? It's like you think the price drop like make people want to sell in this company. I mean, let's just assume 20% would be around here, $22. You know what $22 mean? $22 means that for every share you buy, $11 of it is equity. So technically, you get the actual company, the brand, the leadership, which is $11. Anyway, matter of perspective. That's all. That would be very Jimmy, okay, to dip. Either way, of course. I have only caught you live a few times before. Oh, cool. Welcome back. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the announcement is just an icing on the cake, but I think it's inevitable. It's only time will tell. I honestly think no matter what happens, the company will still do its thing, right? Just because the price drop doesn't mean that the actual company is going to drop with, the price drop, and then therefore $6 billion turn into $4. Like, that doesn't make sense, right? Unless they, F it up. So, like, instead of buying Bitcoin, they buy something that dropped 40% or 100% immediately. You see what I mean? So it makes no sense to me. Like, sometimes when people are evaluating a company, they think that a certain announcement means something, right? But what they don't realize is that the market structure doesn't allow a certain thing to run for a reason. Because think about this. Every single company that announced Bitcoin went up 400% in a day sometimes, right? The 21 whatever capital, they announce, oh, it's a new thing, right? I get it, new and excitement. People don't really take into account. And of course, again, perhaps that's what the market maker wants you to FOMO into, okay? And so that's another element that people have to be aware of it too. And that's why when I say buy when it's boring, buy something when it's boring, it's actual, a thing. It's a thing. It should be a thing for people too. But for some reason, again, we like to chase something that is new, that has some momentum, right? And there's a lot of people who are, yes, I'm not saying you can't make money on that, but make sure that you're not on the other side of it, right? Are you in the beginning of the momentum or at the end of it, the momentum already? A lot of people lose a lot of money chasing that momentum-driven stock. To me, again, GME has been boring for so long. The same way over here. Boring, nothing, price drop, right? And then boom. You never know. You never know when it's going to happen. So that's why my strategy is just know what the book value is and then go from there. if you're willing to pay 2 times multiple, 3 times multiple of book value because of whatever sentiment you have at the time, great, right? Whether it's a short squeeze sentiment or whatever, you want to play that, great. But keep in mind, it may not happen. Short squeeze may not happen, you guys. Sorry to say, right? But if it happens, it's a life-changing type of event. It depends on how many shares you have, how many calls you have at the time, right? So, and that's another thing too. A lot of time people get enticed to buy calls. And I know, this is where our own kitty comes into play for what? Years and years before he was able to kind of time it right? And it'll only take one time for you to get to that point. But he does a lot of research too, and high conviction and all that stuff. So there's a certain element that you have to have right before you could become, what Roaring Kitty is, a legend, right? Traders and, all of that, and deep effing value for a reason. That's why he named it that way, and it's fitting for the way that he's investing in this company or any asset class. You could replicate it in any asset class like Bitcoin too, But the point is that, you have to have that high conviction and to know that a certain instrument that you are investing in, hopefully you're an investor and not traders and all that stuff. But yeah, just be careful. I mean, I'm hoping you're in the market for a long time. That's cool. $11 is the cash, not including the most recent offering. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. So then it's probably even more. $6 billion, right? $6.3 billion, including the most offering. But I think that 1.5 is going to go towards the liability too. So I don't know how they account that. Let's look into it real quick. I actually haven't thought of that. It's like if you were to see it on the balance sheet, where would it go to? I think it would increase the asset, right? Like it would go towards the total asset. So you would see 6.3 there, but long-term debt perhaps. This is long-term asset. Liability down here somewhere. So this would increase to 2.4. Say 2.5. So that liability, look at that liability drop, you guys. This is amazing. See, goodness, like people needs to see this to believe it, I feel, right? When you drop the liability this low, and this liability is probably a lot lower now too, because we just sold Canadian store. Okay? And then France is probably coming up next too. And so this liability might not be $945 million. It's probably, around 800 million. I don't know, I'm just ballparking. Not quite sure how much money we're going to get from that, But decrease of liability has been quite steep there. I know people say, well, anybody could close down the stores. Like, no. And all that stuff. It's like, duh. It's like if you know that the economy is not going to do well in 3 years, do you want to expand your store more and more? Just to what? To do what? Just to lose money in the next 3 years? Right? So again, my point I'm trying to make right now, and I've said this before, I hope, again, I'm sure there's new people coming in, probably don't realize what's happening, is that leadership has done this 3 years ago and foresee this year to happen to where, hey, consumer is getting crushed by inflation, years and years of price going up. Okay. And so, of course, people are not going to be spending on discretionary category. And so the campaign back then was to, to operate a profitable company. Back then, we had way too many stores, not enough customer. So what to do? I know the media wants, the financial media is out there, the Wall Street type. They don't care about the long-term survivability of the company. No, all they want is to load on debt to shareholder equity or shareholders, dilute shareholders at every turn, common stock shareholders. They don't care, right? The conventional wisdom wants you to do that. It's like, well, they should have added more store. Oh, they should have, think of way to add revenue. Think of way to add revenues in a discretionary spending category where people don't have money to spend. Yeah, that would have been a smart move, right? No, that would have been the dumbest move ever. But anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry, I am, just take some time to think through, when people are telling you that this company is not doing well, this company doesn't have a good leadership. Yahoo Finance is the most notorious one, right? What is that guy? Brian Susie, right? Never apologize, by the way, right? Never apologize publicly to Brian Cohen, saying that he's not a better operator. Of course, he's a better operator. Now, I mean, operationally, he's fixing the balance sheets. Yes, slowly. I know. They're like, oh my God, it shouldn't take this long to fix the balance sheet. Okay, have you been operating any multi-billion dollars company before? Brian Susie? You like a business analyst, right? But anyway, let me digress. Apologize if I'm, derailing you from your main discussion, but I am curious if you have, if you can share your thought on, what is that? Open interest on the in the money put. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am not an expert on that. Option, all I know is just max pain. That's it. As far as like in the money put option, over the last week or so, yeah. I mean, all I could think of is the one that they were buying at 96, right? 95. Call in the money. I mean, in the money. And perhaps it's just a hedge, right? They have to buy the underlying asset because they've been shorting. And so they don't want to apply pressure on the lit market. So they bought, in the money, deep in the money puts. Bought? No, sell. Are you talking about selling put? Yeah. Yep, right. So they sold put into the option chain so that they take the pressure off of the actual lit market itself. So that's bullish, of course, right? Bullish bets for sure, if that's what to be the case. But still, that price spike may be very slow and steady, so it might not be what people are expecting, as it was before. But you could be pretty sure that the price will continue to climb slowly. And perhaps this is how they are going to do it from now on, to take some pressure off of the lit market in order to cover their position quietly. Okay. And of course, they have other tools too. They've used every other tools in the book, like short ladder attack. And, if you look at how the lit market is trading GME, it's like a joke. It's like one minute candle would show a 400,000 shares, but then the price doesn't do anything at all. So and so if you were to and again, to me, they want to corner that option market and control the option market a lot more. And I feel like option is priced by the market maker too. So of course they're gonna try to manipulate the price so that their option doesn't go into the money, right? And how do they manipulate it? Well, you've seen it. You've seen it happen, I'm sure. If you know anything about the market structure, right? You're probably like, oh yeah, they're using this algorithm to do this and this and this. Right? But whatever. It that's why, again, for me, long-term investing in this company is much, much, much more beneficial. I'm telling you, because the shareholder is aligned. The executive team is aligned with shareholder, and they are there to create value for shareholder for the long term. So, and if you're short-term minded, thinking about the price spike, thinking about the short squeeze and all that stuff, don't be surprised if Ryan Cohen were to issue more shares into that. Don't be surprised, and don't be whining. Okay? Because you don't understand the bigger picture here. The bigger picture is to create a company that increase shareholder equity. Okay? And if you own call options, yes, that's good for you for the short period of time, but then you're gonna leave, right? And so why can leadership take advantage of that price spike in order to give shareholder more value over time? And so that's how Warren Buffett has been doing for the last 50 years, right? And if you could do it correctly, slowly, and yes, take advantage of these big opportunity like Bitcoin too, it makes all the sense in the world to me, in my mind, right? In my mind. And the reason why I cover it every day is because, again, I get bored, right? And most people in my life don't understand this at all. So even the people that I thought should understand it do not understand it. So they think that I'm crazy. And so that's why. So you're the you're it, whoever you are. But yes, the volume exceed open, meaning that someone sold some contract to open. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. But I'm not a very good expert on call option. I just know enough to profit some of it, right? But as far as deep analysis on those type of thing, it's only my opinion. Could be wrong. I don't have any, background in finance, so it's just me. Okay, what makes sense right now? Okay, plus and minuses. When you buy puts, what does it mean? It means bullish. Okay, all right. Buy put means that you want the shares at that price, and then you collect premium for that. Right? So, if the share goes up in price, what happened? Yes, you want to get the share at $90 because that's why you pick that strike price. However, because the underlying asset only trade at 26, right? No, 26, no, 27 right now. So the premium would be somewhere around 60, right? $63. Yeah, so they would collect $63 per share at that price. And again, I think this is how they cover it slowly. Without affecting the price action in the lit market. Is that bad? Not necessary. It really wouldn't matter who get those shares. And if they want it at that price, I mean, technically they don't buy it at 90. No, they technically only have to pay at this current price at a later on date. Okay. So, yeah. Now that doesn't mean, I'm not saying that it won't, have that price spike. It's just a matter of how many participants are going to be there when the price spikes, right? But you need the institution to do so. You need the institution, big institution, or a rogue a rogue whale, who loved this stock so much, who, right? Who loved this stock so much that he could be the one to just spike it up, right? That's what happened in May last year. So will it happen again? Of course, you betcha. Like if they are not careful, in offering just naked calls to this share, I mean, man, like that's also a possibility. But again, it may not happen, right? What if there's no opportunity for a rogue whale to go about it? But and on top of that too, even without Roy and Kitty, the management team has done an amazing job already to turn this company around successfully, and now we're just waiting for the fruit, to be on this tree, and then pick it off. Right now it's probably not ripened yet. It's not ripe. Okay, just be patient. Fruits is there. It's springing color of flowers. Sorry. So we need the bees to pollinate the flowers so that we could have some fruits here. So it might take a few more earnings call for us to reap that benefit. But man, it's been quite a bit of journey, to say the least. It's been fun for me, for sure. Being in this company, but also too kind of frustrating as well, because I try to get people in, when it was like 10, 15, 17, and people wouldn't budge. But then when it goes up to like 40, 30, oh, then they want it. Man, like when they see this type of things, like, oh, okay, it's more it's more interesting now, right? Again, human psychology, very, very predictable in that sense. And again, market maker love this type of thing. Like they know when to spike it up so that you buy call option thinking that you're gonna get a gazillions of dollars, right? And then they just rip your heart out, right? In the meantime, all you have to do is just buy shares and just chill for an extended period of time. And yeah, that's how it is, how it should be anyway. Hey, what's up? Staying happy, cult leader live also. Okay. Oh, what? Marantz? Goodness, stealing my thunder over here. Hold on, is Marantz on? Let me double check. Oh, what's up? Okay. I did not know, but yeah, let me finish my thought real quick, and I'll go join that later. Typically, I would cover the price and all that stuff, but I'm not a TA person either. I just like do the basic, right? The resistance, support, and all that stuff. And again, really doesn't matter the price action, right? Can be fun, but nah. Anyway, so let me see. Look at this real quick, okay? Now, this is the Trump administrative, the last election. So that's why I kind of like it's resembling that. But if you look at This is the XY, just the value of the dollar versus the euro and all that stuff. It's a basket of currency that, you know, I guess reserve currency. So the XY went down means that the dollars kind of get lower in value. Okay. And so when this happened, this is the election, and then now it's coming down. And if you turn this back on, you could kind of see the resemblance there. This is how people predict the price of Bitcoin, any commodity, or even stock. Likes it when the dollar's coming lower in price. Okay. And so the projection is that it's going to get even lower. And by the time of July, that's probably the peak of the market. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to follow it to the T, but July, end of July, or wait, hold on. Excuse me. End of June, sorry. End of June is going to be the peak, right? Or at least think about taking some profit if you're in crypto and all that stuff. Because then, the dollar is going to go higher. Now I'm not quite sure what altcoin's going to do at that time. It could do the opposite because it's been kind of pressurized already. And so the crypto market can kind of surprise people. Okay, let me go to this video here. I think it's worth listening to a couple of minutes here. And he's just explaining how Bitcoin could go through a short squeeze action. And when Bitcoin goes through short squeeze, you better be ready. Okay. And so if that's the case, that's good for GME as well, because again, yes, if they announce Bitcoin or not, we will see, and with this pressure kind of off of GME, maybe short still there, looming. They have to pump something else, right, in order to short GME some more. But who knows? Again, understand the dynamic too. Just because the news is good doesn't mean that the price action is going to do it. They might wait for so long just so that when people are not betting, when people are not paying attention, the price is going to spike real quick and then come back down. Okay, talking about GME here. Bitcoin as well, if it goes through the short squeeze narrative. But let's listen into this segment here and I'll come back.
Idea of like a commodity short squeeze. And I think people quite don't understand like very asymmetric, violent moves in assets and how they can come together. So what are you seeing here that's giving you the sense that this could be kind of setting up?
Yeah, this is an important thing. As a derivative person my whole life, one of the more interesting conversations I had with someone who I'll refer to on this podcast the same way I've referred to him in Substack. I'll call him Dr. X.
Okay.
Highlighted to me the asymmetric pricing, or the strange pricing in Bitcoin calls versus puts. And the first time I saw this, I was looking at the Deribit exchange, which as of this week there's a takeover by Coinbase, and it's a big story. But what I looked at was that, just for example, with 100,000 as the price for spot Bitcoin out to September, so we're talking 4 months, a $30,000 out of the money call was close to $5,000, close to $5,000, while a put at 70,000 was close to $1,700. So in equity markets, you typically get this skew where the higher the prices, lower the vol. In this case, there's a variety of factors that fit in with the Bitcoin, which makes the Bitcoin option market unique. But what really scares me about this is that as an equity person, and you see that, you can buy spot Bitcoin and you can sell 30% out of the money calls, and you can collect what's effectively higher than the Fed funds rate for just 4 and change months, which means on an annualized basis, whether it's the calls or the futures, they're trading at a really big premium to spot price, which means you're going to get a lot of people that are willing to kind of sell options on this. So one of my beliefs overall has been that Bitcoin is not a currency. It's not an equity. So when people call it a risk asset or they call it currency, I'm like, it's not that. It's kind of a hybrid thing. It has a finite amount. And this is what's different with the fiat thing. This is what Michael Saylor talks about. This is what makes it interesting. So the upside can be asymmetric. You can get short squeezes. And I believe what we're going to see this year at some point is a period where someone gets caught short, primarily because of the option stuff and where these calls are priced, but also not recognizing how fast this thing can move to the upside, where the vol can be extremely, it can move very, very quickly. And the reason I think it is going to happen is because there's a lot of miners that seem to overwrite their calls. This is a production related thing. And it reminds me of what happened to nickel in 2022, where we had this massive spike in nickel. So it actually this year will probably look more like a commodity at some point, where people have to come in to cover the calls that they've shorted against it. So I think it's going to happen this year.
When people hear short squeeze, they think huge asymmetry, hundreds of % of upside. How significant or severe do you think that the upside movement in a short squeeze of Bitcoin, given its size now of a couple $1 trillion, like what does that look like?
So here's the issue on a short squeeze. Going on X and just reading how many people are involved in this market, and think of GameStop and all these situations. I think Bitcoin fits in with these it has this huge community following. And if people believe that someone is caught short, I think it can get extremely violent. Now, once it's done, you'll get a pullback, obviously. But at some point here, I think you're going to get a big move. Michael Saylor's done one thing to Bitcoin through the MicroStrategy convert market. He's brought a lot of short options out there in terms of people are now long a bunch. So there's gamma out there. So it's longer dated. All that means is we can get an asymmetric move and then it will come back. But I think we're going to see it because I think the community will feel the short squeeze. They'll be pressuring it and there'll be a story floating around. So I think at some point this year, Bitcoin will be a front page news story as to how it's gone higher on a short squeeze.
Now,
That's crazy, right? If that narrative were to play out, Jimmy's going to do well too. Yeah, so that is the short ends of it. And then he goes on to, talk about the rates and all that stuff. So, and of course the possibility of the Bitcoin reserve still status of what is happening. Let's see. If you were to think about Bitcoin here, a lot of news based on that. Outperforming the S&P 500. Crazy, right? Crazy. And let's see. Ripple, the XRP lawsuit already completely gone now. Yes, it was gone. Well, claim victory months ago. However, the official, the final from the filing of the SEC hasn't been released until 2 days ago. So that's a good thing. Still, it does provide a better coverage, I guess, if people were to want to build on the XRP ledger, right? So it kind of lift that weight off of that chain so that people could start to build on it without, worrying about the government coming after it. So the value of the value of XRP is going to kind of unlocked from that. Whether it's, this is crazy. Dang. Whoa. That's crazy. I want one of this. Can you imagine? Yeah. Man, this is crazy. Sorry, I'm just watching this and how? How is this possible? Is this AI? I feel like this is AI, you guys. Crazy. All right. Okay, so of course we're waiting for Roaring Kitty to tweet. Everybody is waiting, and we will see. We will see if that's gonna happen. But anyway, so let me end the stream here, and I'm gonna join our cult leader. So yeah, can't stop, won't stop, GameStop type thing, huh? All right, we'll see you when I see you.